Hello students, I am your biology Hema Rajesh. I will be covering chemical control and coordination today. Briefly, I will run this website for you to access revision notes and test in claysix.com. Click open the claysix.com page and click on the practice. You'll see a lot of packages here. Since it's a NEET class, I'm going to select the NEET premium package. Once you click here, you will be getting tests in physics, chemistry and biology, chapter wise test and NEET full test. I'm going to click on the biology 11 since we are doing chapters from that. And now if you look at it, you find a lot of bubbles, colored bubbles in the page. Each bubble is a test. A green bubble indicates that you have completed the test, but you can always visit if you want more practice. Sometimes you would have scored less and you after learning the concepts you might want to revisit the test. You can do it any number of times. Blue bubble indicates that you have not yet taken the test. Yellow bubble indicates that it is you have given an incomplete test. Sometimes you would have started with the test and after 3 or 4 questions you would have realized it that you have not prepared adequately for the test and you might like to quit the test. At that point of time, you will be quitting, and once you revisit and you want to take up the test, it shows you can continue from there, and it's an indicator that you have not completed. Now if you look at the test, each chapter has got different number of tests depending upon the complexity of the text and also the number of questions that are asked in the NEET. So its importance in the NEET. So depending on that only we have created the test. And now if you look at the red bubble, it is a randomized test. Once you have taken all these numbered tests, if you take up the randomized test, it will help you to understand yourself. You will be able to assess yourself how well you are prepared with the concepts and its applications and also in the recall part of the test. And here you have a button for revision notes. If you click, it will open into a PDF. And this PDF, if you see, it is made up of only 135 pages, wherein all the key concepts of your 11th and 12th are put in such a manner that it will help you for an easy revision. Hence, I suggest you go for this package along with the test for you to improve your scores. Now, before we get into, I hope you have got to know how to navigate through the website. In today's class, I will be revising the key concepts, do a practice test based on the concepts learned, and last 5 minutes I will answer your queries. Now, before getting into this, you must be aware, you must be thinking how our NEET exams are going to be. In biology, especially after a careful analysis, we have found that there are 3 kinds of questions that usually figure out. One is based on NCERT questions, around 68 to 70 questions in the examination are directly from NCERT books. They can be attempted easily by those who read NCERT syllabus and NCERT textbook religiously. Now, directly from the previous year's question papers, around 8 to 10 questions are being asked. If you have solved all the past NEET papers, you can easily score marks if this 8 to 10 questions. And modified questions, at least 8 to 10 questions in the NEET, every year new questions will be asked, which will be from NCERT, no doubt. But for you to answer them properly and correctly, you have to understand the concept and also apply the concept. So to help you to identify those kinds of questions and to help you to answer all those questions, we have created the test in such a way in this website that you will, by taking up this package, you will be able to score very high marks in your NEET. Now with this, I think you have understood the framework. Now let us begin the lesson. That is hormonal control, that is chemical control and chemical coordination and integration. So this has to do with your endocrine glands. So you know there are 2 types of glands in the human body. One is the ducted glands and another one is the ductless glands. Now ducted glands are called as the exocrine glands. These glands have ducts and they secrete their secretions in the ducta. And ducts carry them to the site of action. Examples: sweat and oil glands of the skin, salivary gland, liver, etc. Endocrine glands do not have ducts to carry their secretions to the target organs. These glands secrete their secretion into the blood for their transportation to the site of action. Example: thyroid, pituitary, pancreas, hypothalamus, and so on. And the branch of science that is dealing with the study of endocrine system is called endocrinology. And this is very, very important, this diagram, because they might ask you to identify the glands that are present and give you the choice. Now let us look into what are the secretions of these endocrine glands called. They are called as the hormones. These are the organic compounds secreted in small amount by endocrine glands of the body. These can inhibit or modify the cellular activities. These are first messengers, informational molecules, are trigger substances of the body. These regulate internal environment and permit the action of other hormones. Hormone was discovered by Bayliss and Starling, and the first hormone that was discovered was secretin. Now let us look at hormones as messengers and regulators. Hormones which interact with membrane-bound receptors but do not enter the target cell and generate second messengers, which in turn regulate cellular metabolism. Hormones which interact with intracellular receptors mostly regulate gene expression of chromosome function by interaction of human receptor complex with the genome. The cumulative biochemical action results in physiological and developmental effects. Now with this background, now let us look very quickly into the different kinds of endocrine glands and what are their secretions. First one is the hypothalamus. Now hypothalamus, you know, it is the basal portion of the basal portion of diencephalon. Neurohormones were first discovered by Guilelinen and Shally. It is connected with the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland by the hypophyseal portal blood vessels and with the posterior lobe of the pituitary gland by axonal neurons. So its main function is it regulates the synthesis and secretion of pituitary gland hormones. It releases two kinds of hormones. One is releasing hormones that stimulates the secretion of pituitary hormones, and inhibiting hormones which inhibit the secretions of the pituitary hormones. Now let us look into the pituitary gland. So it is a master gland. It is located in a cavity called sella turcica. It is attached to the hypothalamus by a stalk. And if you look anatomically, it is divided into adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. Hormones released from hypothalamic neurons reach anterior pituitary through portal system. Direct neural regulation by hypothalamus occurs in the posterior pituitary. Now let us look into adenohypophysis. Adenohypophysis is divided into two regions. One is pars distalis and another is pars intermedia. Now pars distalis secretes these hormones. One is the growth hormone. This hormone controls the growth of the body. When there is an hyposecretion in the mother when the child is born or after the childbirth, it can result in dwarfism. Hypersecretion will lead to gigantism. Prolactin is a hormone that controls the growth of the mammary glands and also milk formation. Thyroid stimulating hormone. It stimulates the synthesis and secretion of thyroid hormones. Adrenocorticotropic hormone. It stimulates the synthesis and secretion of glucocorticoids of adrenal cortex. Luteinizing hormone. In males, it promotes synthesis and secretion of androgens, and in females, it induces the ovulation. Follicle stimulating hormone. It helps in the growth and development of the ovarian follicles. So, if you are able, whatever you read from pages together in your book, we have put it in the form of an organizer, which will be very, very helpful to you. Now, hormones secreted by pars intermedia. It is melanocyte stimulating hormone. It regulates the melanin pigmentation of the skin. Now, hormones secreted by neurohypophysis, that is pars nervosa, oxytocin and vasopressin. Oxytocin acts on smooth muscle walls, uterus walls during childbirth. It helps in contraction of the uterus, and once the child is born, it also helps in ejection of the milk. Now, vasopressin, it stimulates reabsorption of water and electrolytes by the kidney. So in the class we have studied when we are doing excretory system, vasopressin and is the same hormone. Now the next one is the pineal body. So if you look at the pineal body, it is found on the dorsal side of the brain. Now it's generating at about the age of 7 years. In adult, it is largely a fibrous tissue. It lies under the corpus callosum between the two cerebral hemispheres of the brain at the tip of a short pineal stalk arising from the roof of the diencephalon. It is neurosecretory transducer and secretes hormones in response to nervous activity. The main hormone it secretes is the melatonin. So this melatonin is responsible for 24-hour rhythm of the body, and it influences temperature, metabolism, pigmentation, menstrual cycle, and body defense. See, because of melatonin only, when it is sunset, in the evening times you start feeling sleepy, and naturally at night you feel sleepy because of this hormone is secreted when in the dark. But what has happened, unfortunately, because of our work conditions, and we have modified our biological clock, and as a result of which we are going against the function of the melatonin, and that is why we are facing issues with our body, and you find young people succumbing to lifestyle disorders like blood pressure, sugar, heart attacks at very early age, because they are going against the action of melatonin, and as a result of which they are bringing in a lot of changes in their body. Now the next gland you are going to see is the thyroid gland. It is the largest gland found on the ventral and lateral sides on the upper part of the trachea. That means to say it is present on either side of the trachea, and the two lobes in the gland are joined by the isthmus. Now what are the kinds of hormones it secretes? T4, T3 and thyrocalcitonin. Now let us look at thyroxine or T4 hormone or tetraiodothyronin. It regulates the basal metabolic rate and supports the RBC formation. Triiodothyronin, hyposecretion. Now, thyroxine regulates blood calcium levels. Now, if the thyroxine levels are very low, hyposecretion, so as a result of which you tend to become more fat and sluggish by nature, and you start gaining more weight because your body's metabolism is impaired. Similarly, if it is secreted in excess, it results in a hyperthyroidism, wherein the person will be eating and eating like a glutton but will not gain weight, but will be feeling hungry because the basal metabolic rate has gone too high, and at extreme conditions, if it is left untreated, it might increase the heartbeat to such an extent that the person may die due to excessive beating of the heart. Now parathyroid gland. Now parathyroid glands are 4 in number, that is they are embedded in the thyroid gland each. In thyroid glands, they are oval shaped and are yellow in color. Now parathyroid hormone increases calcium levels in the blood. It is called hypercalcemic hormone. It stimulates bone resorption and reabsorption of calcium from the blood and reabsorption of calcium by renal tubules. Now let us look into the thymus gland. It is situated in front of the heart. Thymus is active in young people, but gradually becomes inconspicuous after sexual maturity. It is made up of cerebral cortex and central medulla. Now, thymus gland is a soft pinkish bilobed mass of lymphoid tissues. Now, what does it secrete? It secretes thymosin. This thymosin in the young people helps in differentiation of T lymphocytes that helps in cell-mediated immunity, and it produces antibodies and provides humoral immunity. Humoral immunity. Now let us look at adrenal glands. Renal, you know it is kidney. Adrenal means the gland that is situated on the top of the kidney. So it is present at the anterior part of each kidney. There are paired glands located on the kidneys and structurally and functionally divided into adrenal cortex and central outer cortex and central medulla. Now let us look at the hormones secreted by it: adrenaline or epinephrine and noradrenaline or norepinephrine. So you must have heard the term or the phrase adrenaline rush. So when do you feel the adrenaline rush? You're seeing a cricket match. Last ball you had to hit a six, or it's a match winning ball or this one. At that time you all get so tense. There is an adrenaline rush. Suppose you are appearing for your NEET exams. Before the exam starts, You want to keep yourself calm. You are unable to contain because you want to see the question paper. There is an adrenaline rush. So whenever you are getting excited or whenever you are having a kind of fear or anger, there is a lot of secretion of adrenaline in your system, and that is what we call it as adrenal rush, and it is due to the hormone produced by the adrenaline gland. The other name of it is epinephrine, or it is also called norepinephrine. Now, next one is, let us look into the functions. It increases the alertness, dilation of the pupils, piloerection, sweating, etc. It increases the heartbeat, rate of respiration, breakdown of glycogen into glucose. Now, aldosterone, it balances the water and electrolytes in the body and regulates the blood pressure. Cortisol, it is involved in carbohydrate metabolism. It is also responsible for anti-inflammatory reactions and suppresses the immune responses. Whenever people are undergoing transplantations, then they want to suppress the immune response. At that time, these cortisols, which are nothing but steroidal hormones, are given to the patients. Now, androgenic steroids, they control the growth of axial, pubic and facial hair. Now next is look at the pancreas. You know, pancreas is located in the curve of the duodenum. It has both exocrine and endocrine roles. Islets of Langerhans form the endocrine part of the pancreas. There are 4 cells, namely alpha, beta, delta and F cells. Alpha cells are larger and peripheral cells, produces glucagon. Beta cells are centrally located smaller cells and they produce insulin. So you know insulin's function is to reduce the blood sugar levels, and the deficiency will result in diabetes mellitus. If you look at glucagon, it increases the blood sugar levels. So they have got antagonistic properties. Now delta cells are the middle cells producing somatostatin hormone. F cells produce pancreatic polypeptide. Now let us get into the gonads. Gonads are testes and ovary. A pair of testes composed of seminiferous tubules and interstitial cells is present in the scrotal sacs of the males, which are found outside the body of the abdomen. Leydig cells produce androgens, mainly consisting of testosterone, and these testosterone regulates development and maturation of male accessory sex organs, formation of secondary sexual characters, and play a stimulatory role in spermatogenesis. Male sexual behavior is influenced by androgens. Now, ovary, if you look at it, a pair of ovaries that produce one ovum in each menstrual cycle are present in the abdomen of the females. Ovary composed of ovarian follicles and stromal tissue. Now, the structure all will be dealt in human reproduction in detail. Estrogen is synthesized by the follicles, and this helps the stimulation of the female secondary sex organs, female behavior, development of mammary glands, and appearance of secondary sexual characters of females. Now, ruptured follicle will form corpus luteum that secretes of progesterone. Now, this progesterone plays a very active role in supporting the pregnancy and stimulates alveoli formation and milk secretion in the mammary glands. Now, these are the things that are secreted, hormones that are secreted by the tissues are also there, but they are not endocrine. You should know about those too. So, the heart as an organ also secretes atrial natriuretic factor, or ANF. It reduces the blood pressure. Kidney secretes erythropoietin, which is essential for the formation of RBC. That is why in patients who are under dialysis, erythropoietin secretion will be impaired. So they have to be given erythropoietin injections once a fortnight so that their RBC count is maintained in the blood. Now, gastrointestinal tract secretes 4 kinds of hormones. Gastrin, which stimulates the secretion of HCl, and pepsinogen in the stomach. Secretin secretes water and bicarbonate ions from the pancreas. Cholecystokinin secretes pancreatic juice and bile juice. Gastric inhibitory peptide inhibits gastric secretion and motility of the food in the gut. Now let us look at the mechanism of hormone action. You know that it is brought about by hormone receptors of 2 kinds. One is located on a membrane of the target cells. These are membrane-bound receptors. As I said earlier itself, I explained it to you. The hormones will bind to the receptor complex, leads to biochemical changes in the tissues. In the process, they do not enter into the target organ, but they release the secondary messengers like cyclic AMP, which regulates the cellular metabolism. Now, sometimes they get inside the target cells, and these are called as the intracellular receptors. The hormones like steroid hormones, iodothyrmonins, etc., interact with them, and then they cause physiological and developmental effects of regulating the gene expression. So, with this, we are completing the important points that are essential from this lesson. Now, let us look and back into the test and complete the taste test. So, chemical coordination. So, hormones which interact with DASH normally do not enter the target cell, but DASH which in turn regulates cellular metabolism. So, we know it is membrane-bound receptors. Hormones which interact with membrane-bound receptors normally do not enter the target cells, but generate secondary messengers. So, this is the choice. Sorry. Hormones which interact with DASH mostly regulate by DASH the interaction of the DASH with the DASH. So this diagram is very important. They might ask you to identify what is what. See, these are some kinds of the diagrams which we tend to overlook when we are preparing. But actually the questions will be asked from these kind of the diagrams, where if you have not learnt it, it is very difficult for you to interpret the diagram. So intracellular receptor, gene expression or chromosome function, hormone receptor complex, and genome. So this is the answer. Now let us look. Hypothalamic hormones originating in the DASH pass through axons and are released from their nerve endings. Hypothalamic hormone reach the pituitary gland through a DASH and regulate the functions of the DASH. The DASH is a direct neural regulation of the DASH. So this diagram is also there in your textbook. It's better you understand and learn this diagram. Now let us look at the choice and identify the correct thing. Hypothalamic system, anterior pituitary, posterior pituitary, and hypothalamus. Which part of the cell is involved in communicating with the other cells through binding of ligands, that is hormones, neurotransmitters, etc., to the receptor proteins on its surface? It is plasma membrane. Regarding hormones and their receptor, incorrect option. Hormone receptors are non-specific. This is the incorrect option because they are very specific in their function. On the basis of their chemical nature, hormones can be divided into all of the following groups except none of the above, because these are the three kinds of classification we do. Regarding parathyroid hormone, choose the incorrect option. PTH is a hypercalciuric hormone. Regarding the actions of adrenaline and noradrenaline, choose the statement. Incorrect statement. Causes pupillary constriction is incorrect. It causes dilation. Cortisol is the main glucocorticoid. That is the correct answer. Aldosterone is the main mineralocorticoid. So both are correct. Small amounts of androgenic steroids are also secreted by the adrenal cortex. These androgenic steroids play a role in the growth of axial hair, pubic hair, and facial hair during puberty. Now, which is the correct? Both are correct. I think I have skipped 10th question. Glucocorticoids stimulate all except cellular uptake and utilization of amino acids. Okay, this we are done. 12th. Regarding pellets of Langerhans, choose the incorrect option. 1 to 2 million islets of Langerhans in a normal human pancreas, representing 10 to 20% of the pancreatic tissue, is a wrong thing. Regarding estrogen, correct option. See here, appearance of female secondary sex characters are given, low pitch of voice, etc. So that is not with estrogens. Regarding progesterone, choose the incorrect option. And all the three are correct, so it is none of the above. Regarding ANF, choose the incorrect option. So it is secreted when blood pressure is decreased. No. When it is increased, it is secreted. Now if you look at all these tests, see this is going, we have picked up the questions right from the textbook. This is how sometimes they ask many a times in your NEET exams, where you will be wondering how am I going to memorize the textbook. So with this kind of test, it is going to help you to understand the text better, even without really giving a thought about it, because you're solving it, and when you're trying to solve, if you don't know the answer, you're repeatedly referring the notes and also the textbook to get the right answer. So with this, let me save and end the test. Yes. So all the questions are correct. So if everything is correct, you will see green tile. If anything is wrong, you will be seeing it in red color. When you click on that question, you will come to know your choices also will be highlighted, and the correct answer will also be given along with the explanation. From this, you can identify your mistake and also get the right answer. If you have not answered, it will be showing in yellow color. And if you click on that question, you will get to know the answer along with its explanation. But please remember, you're doing an entrance exam, and here negative marks should be avoided. That means if you are not sure with the answer, please leave the answer, but don't try to just tick it as you feel, because you're going to lose 1 mark from the 4 marks for each question. 24, 60 marks. Suppose I have 2 questions wrong. So from 2 questions wrong means I'm only going to take it is 52. So 52 minus 2, my score. So you should not go in for incorrect answers. If you do not know the choice, please leave it. Otherwise, you will be holding those 2 marks, and that each and every mark counts for you in the NEET exam. So with this, I'm completing today's class. I got our packages, NEET full test packages, which is 38 tests, all in physics, chemistry, botany and zoology for 3 hours. Out of this, if you look in, 15 tests are original tests created by the tutors, taking into account the kind of all the 3 kinds of questions as I discussed earlier into consideration, and also 20 plus past NEET papers, all solved with solutions. If you want to get any additional help, you can use our ask feature and post your questions, and we also support chat group using Telegram. If at all you feel that you need one-to-one tutoring, you can book your slots with the tutors for a particular chapter if you want also. And for any inquiries you need, whatever the query you have, you can mail your query to info@claysix.com. So I meet you tomorrow. Thank you.